that with this one.
Hi, Judy.
So, and this one's like
their help too. I got some help. Okay, let's go.
What we're going to be doing here this evening, we'll have an invocation. I'll introduce former mayors and former and current city council members.
In 1910, the city attorney Sackett said Sheridan is replete with a future of possibilities.
Former mayors Della Herbst and Jim Wilson. And Della, I'll turn it over to you just for a few brief comments and Jim as well.
Thank you, Dave. You know, as I was thinking about this delightful occasion, I just wanted to thank all the current mayor, the past mayors. This building being 100 years old today is a classic example of historic preservation that we can move forward with. We've torn down too many buildings in Sheridan, I think, because new is going to be better. I don't think so.
There's a rumor going around that we can't find it. We can find it. We took out a whole lot of bricks in and around the time capsule. Still couldn't see it visually. The building department then drilled a hole and ran a little mini camera in there. Couldn't quite find it. But then they got a metal detector. And it is in there, and it is in there so firmly that it is not coming out until this building comes down.
Whereabouts? Where's the location?
As Judge Camplin said 100 years ago, God loves a builder. To build is the greatest achievement of mankind. And I think they built this thing so solid they didn't intend for us to get to that time capsule. So we're going to put a new time capsule in, as represented by this box, which says time capsule. And we're going to put some contents in there which I'll relate to you in a moment. But first, I would like to introduce representing Masonic Lodge number 8, Past Master Ken Thorpe, and representing Masonic Lodge number 43, Worshipful Master George Mathis, to make a presentation of an items to be included in the time capsule.
100 years ago, we had an opportunity to put a document in the time capsule, but in order to do that at that time, and still now, we have to have special dispensation from the most worshipful Grand Master of the state of Wyoming. Well, we couldn't do it because it didn't get here in time. Didn't travel quite as well as it does today using email. So we did get dispensation.
About 80% of it came from one gentleman, these suggestions, all of them excellent, Citizen Charlie Popovich. Charlie, you want to raise your hand there? And Charlie is a historian and a researcher. So we are going to include copies of articles that Charlie Popovich has written on the history of City Hall and on the history of the City Hall fire alarm bell. We're going to have, at his suggestion, a copy of the walking tour of historic downtown, promotional materials like the Embrace Sheridan Activities Map, Embrace Sheridan of the West Tourism and Travel Promotional Booklet, 2009 Tourism Guide Booklet, and so forth, as well as a map of the pathway system and many other suggestions that Charlie made. City Centennial Belt Buckle will all go in there, along with copies of the Sheridan Press with the story about this august gathering, and a copy of the Country Bounty with similar or like coverage. And we will also include a thumb drive with a copy of our capital improvement plan, so 100 years from now they can look and see how many of these things we set out to do did we achieve. So a thumb drive will go in as well as a DVD containing similar data. So it's exciting, and we'll be sealing that up here after these ceremonies. Comments for this crowd of 1910 as presented to us by Michael Fox. Michael.
Good evening, fellow citizens of Sheridan. As a representative of the Royal Highlanders, of which there are 400 good, true, and loyal citizens of our city, I am indeed glad to be present here today and add what little might I may to the festivities of this occasion. An event such as this generally comes only once during a lifetime. It is, among other things, a tablet upon which is written the progress of a community. We of Sheridan County have in the past claimed that our county, though the smallest, is yet the best county in the state of Wyoming. We point to our fertile valleys, and none has disputed their superiority. We have directed the attention of the people to the greatest coal fields in the world lying in our midst, and everyone has concluded their wealth. And then, to prove that our claims are not unfounded, our county proceeded to erect the only first-class and the best courthouse of any in Wyoming, and it stands gracing that hill over yonder, the pride of this state. And so we have proclaimed our city the first city in Wyoming, excepting only in population. And to substantiate our claims, we are about to erect the best city hall in the state. And it will stand here, gracing this spot, a monument to the energy of our people, the pride of our city, and a pillar in the structure and progress of our Commonwealth. And I believe firmly that this city will continue to progress, and its outlook justifies the laying of this cornerstone. I am convinced that a throng of 50,000 people will in the near future cluster their habitations about this spot, and this building will be the center point. The footsteps of all of them will at some time or another be heard along its corridors. Their attention will frequently be directed toward it and to its occupants, and they will, to a more or less extent, at all times look as the embodiment of civic righteousness and integrity. I hope that they will at all times be justified in the confidence which they bestow. There are very few men and women who do not want good government, although with some of them, private gain and advantage may be uppermost. Along with material welfare should go civic integrity, and our civilization cannot progress unless material progress goes hand in hand with the honesty and integrity of the public officers. In a spirit of fairness, looking only to the good of Sheridan, let us work together to make this a greater and better city. I hope, I trust that future generations may still see this cornerstone at this place, may see the splendid edifice intended to be erected here rear its head properly amid the buildings of the city, unsullied and unstained by dishonor, that it may stand firm, unshaken through the storms of many a future day, that its flag, unfurling to the summer's breeze, may each morn greet the rising sun with the assurance that we are still on our march of progress and of better, greater civilization. Thank you.
Sheridan in the future indicated that he would be teletransporting here, and we expect his arrival at any moment.
Greetings! Sherridanites of the past! Greetings! I have just teletransported here from the future! And boy, are my arms tired. Yeah! You're a great crowd! Great crowd! Great crowd. You must love them here in the past. Seriously though, folks, I am Mayor Cosmo. And I've teletransported here to get to the bottom of something very serious. The time capsule. We were just finishing up the North Main revitalization project last year, and very proud about that. Very proud. And we found this time capsule. We were fascinated by what we found in there. Look at these things, that clues to your primitive culture. You people were obsessed with miniature frisbees. Obsessed, and look, paper. You still use paper. It's very cute, very cute. And then look at this thing. A thumb drive is what they tell me it is, but I put it on my thumb. I think it's broken because I drove right into a tree. But where are my manners? You probably want to hear about the future. Am I right? Yes? Okay. First thing you should know is some of the politics of the future. In your time, you elected a president based upon the fact that he did not inhale marijuana. In our time, we elected a president based on her ability to ingest mass amounts of cocaine. President Lohan is doing a great job for us. Great job. As far as Homeland Security, they've done great things in X-ray vision. In fact, we all have it. These glasses, I can see through all of your clothing right now. It's very cool. Actually, for some of the time it's cool. Could you please move to the side, Robert? On a local level, the Sheridan Press and Sheridan Media finally came together as one unit, the Sheridan Mess. In the future, elk hunting is way easier. You teletransport right to the elk and shoot them. As far as infrastructure in the future, it's a thing of the past. We have our hover cars that glide right over potholes. And as far as all of our waste, teletransport it right to Johnson County. You know, in 1910, they had a motto, we can and we will. We changed that motto in 2110 to, we could, but why bother? You know, in some ways, the past and the future are very much the same. Councilmen's, actually, the county commissioners, this is one way that they're all the same. The county commissioners, still in 2110, have to wear cowboy hats. It's a rule. And also, due to the advances in human longevity, your own mayor, Mayor Dave Kinski, was mayor up until 5 years ago. It's very impressive. But he had to retire to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming a ballerina.